Hey traders, TG Watkins here. It is January 26th when I'm recording this. Hope everybody's going to have a good weekend and happy Friday. So yeah, come on over to x.com and come down here. I've got a little bit of a poll going on. I want to see what you guys think about this. So what I'm seeing in through here, we have IWM on the left and we have Airbnb on the right. And what I'm noticing is that this hourly chart here is looking very similar to what Airbnb did right here. And Airbnb shot up. Now, some of the differences, because you could see that in through here, that the Airbnb was also flagging for a little bit, but it failed the hourly 50 and needed to do a double bottom. Whereas this one just went sideways and then up. So I kind of wonder what's going to happen here with the IWM, because the IWM has only had one pullback, whereas Airbnb had a double pullback. So double bottom. So yeah, go ahead and submit your answers and your stuff here. Let's see. So far we have a lead, but yeah, I want to see what you guys think. All right, so kind of go over and do that, and then over here, if we look at breadth, I always like to kind of check in with this. And mainly the big thing that I was looking at is the 20-day SMA. So we did get down to about 30%, and you see that things did bounce from there. And that has been an area, like if we just kind of look, you can see right about here, 30%. That is an area where things need to kind of cool off the froth and everything, and then let it go again. But oftentimes it has gone a little bit lower. So I was kind of just wondering if this was maybe just a bounce, and then maybe it's going to chop around a little bit more, but there are some pretty good names out there doing all right. And then we've kind of seen the 50 and the 200-day leveling out. So this could just mean that now we're in a trend, which would be great. Really great to see continued strength from the market. And as I said, I'm really looking at the IWM. So I want to see if that happens. And if it does, then we might kind of just be operating up here in an upper area while things do pretty well. All right, so some of the things, if we kind of just look at the SPY, we know the SPY has been doing well. And just right in through here, it feels like we could be in for, I don't know, I would be thinking a pullback, because we're up here at kind of the outer extension, outer extension, outer extension. But instead of a pullback, we could also go sideways, because what you'll notice is we went sideways here. This one we did have a pullback, but that was pretty obvious. It was very extended. It was into the end of the year, all that kind of stuff. But now that we're in the new year, maybe this thing kind of keeps going. So I'm not shorting anything. I'm not bearish on anything. Maybe if you guys want to do that as day trades, okay. But the only thing I'm looking at is it's a little bit up there, and now I'm just kind of wondering how it's going to work off its overbought condition, which, again, doesn't mean it has to go down. It could really just go sideways. So I'm just being open-minded as to what that might want to do. And let me just show you one more thing with the SPY here. The only other thing to kind of be aware of is that we are, again, kind of stretched up here, which is also similar to back here. But we've seen that before. We can keep going. Depends on really how strong this market is. So I'm not trying to short anything. And really, I think the fact that we have now broken out, let's look pretty good. So yeah, hard to argue about that. And then if we come over to the NASDAQ, we know the same story here. Yeah, really don't want to be short in this market, but all I'm saying is maybe it's a little up there, but it can go for a while. So yeah, as I said, not trying to get out and anything. Keep trading each position by itself, knowing that basically we have a green light as a backdrop. So again, maybe it's a little extended, a little extended, a little extended. So we're gonna have to see what it wants to do as far as kind of pulling back and cooling off. Yeah, there was a little one there, little one there. We might do another something. It seems pretty normal. Waves, right? So we could be seeing some waves like that. And we know that the semis really had a big move, and same thing, it just got pretty extended. So you can see right up there, pretty extended, just like that and like that. So, semis, NASDAQ, just be prepared that they might be pulling back a little bit. You can see kind of doing that today. But, I'm not trying to short anything, so just waiting for the pullback to go through and do its thing and decide when it wants to go. Now that then brings me to the IWM and say, okay, well, what is this going to do? Because overall, let me show you the higher time frame of the IWM. I think the IWM is going to go. I think it is in a new uptrend. It broke out here, and I'm looking for it to pull back to support, and I'm just looking for this to hold, and I want to see this thing keep moving up. I don't see anything else. You got the Moxie price trigger. We had a little fake out over there, but you can see here continued uptrend, and boy, that thing looks pretty good, and it's certainly trying right here on the monthly chart as well. So if we come over here, as I said, we knew that going into the end year, everything was overbought. There it was, way up there. And the IWM decided, yeah, there you go, daily 50 and right into that previous price area and decided to bounce. Now, just kind of the near-term question is, well, how do we resolve this? Are we just going to flag and move up, or are we going to take one little dip and then go up like that? Okay, so I'm leaving it open because it's not confirmed. And you can see here, we are still kind of running into some resistance right in through that area. All right, so we got the breadth and everything that we got. The other thing, let's look at some of the other ETFs. I like to look at these because they do show things in a different light. And I look at the ARK ETF, and whatever you might think about the ARK ETF, it is doing better. It's really doing better. You can see it's been moving up, and it really looks like it's trying to trend, and it did break out. So yeah, it definitely had a breakout. And we all knew, as I said, everything was overbought, so just now have to let them come back down to support, and oh look, what's it doing? Right there. Kind of neat, huh? So this was an area of resistance, whatever, and here it is now coming back to it. And also, it's coming back down to the weekly 21. That generally is going to be an area of support. So can't confirm it yet, not on that time frame. So you kind of come down here and you're like, oh, what do we see? Well, we're starting to see a double bottom. We're starting to see some positive divergence. And we have a potential trampoline move. So price below the 50, but the Moxie indicator above 0. That's a potential trampoline move, and just want to point that out. Now, can't confirm anything yet, still too early, but if you guys want to see good trends, this is what the Moxie indicator is used for. There you go. There's your Moxie price trigger to the upside, and there's your Moxie price trigger to the downside. Doesn't get much better than that. So yeah, if you guys need to still pick up the Moxie indicator, come on over. You can either buy it for StockCharts as you see here, or you can get it for Thinkorswim or TradingView. All right, and then another one, FFTY. This is the IBD 50, and I gotta say, again, I would never be trading this, but I'm looking at this as a reason. Oops, gosh, what is going on here? Hold on just a second. Okay, so the IBD 50. I mean, this is freaking terrible. How bad this is, and it's supposed to be curated and picked and IBD and all that kind of stuff. It's like, wow, was anybody at the helm here? So it is pretty bad and all that, but what I do want to show is it's looking better. So again, I'm never going to buy this. I will never buy this. But what I like is that there was an undercut. So undercut and rally, and the Moxie indicator is above 0, and you can see we were back above the monthly 10. And you can even see that that pullback that we had was right into support, and now we're up. So this is just telling me that across pretty much everywhere I'm looking, things are looking pretty decent. They're doing well. And you can see here, there was that pullback. I think that was the beginning of the year. Everything needed to pull back, and it did. And then look at that. Nice flag into the hourly 50. There's your Moxie price trigger to the upside. There it is to the downside. And there it again is to the upside. So again, the Moxie indicator doing great. And you can even see here, that was your daily signal. And you just buy pullbacks in that case. So the fact that we're still seeing something like this in one of the worst ETFs that I can find out there, the Innovator IBD 50, kind of a laughing stock. But yeah, if we're seeing stuff like that, then it should be pretty well. Now, on the other end of the spectrum, FNGU, yeah, this thing's been doing great. And we just took a trade in this, which also Netflix helped it out because Netflix was having a good trade or a good move on earnings. Gosh, I think we bought it right there. How's that? That's pretty good. Basically, there's your double bottom. There's your positive divergence. We got it right there on the Moxie price trigger. And you even see here, this nice consolidation that it had right there. So we're enjoying ourselves with that one, FNGU. This is the leveraged FANG stock ETF. So, take your pick, whatever you guys want on stuff like that. That one's working pretty darn well. And then another one, PSTG. And I saw this one on the higher time frames. So that's how I operate. I like to look at the higher time frames and then drill my way down to make sure, context, and then you start figuring out, specifically when do you need to get in. And what I saw with this was, look at that nice pullback. And it took months to do. Go figure it. Look, that was a huge move. And look how long this thing took to then pull back, consolidate, flag, whatever you want to call it. And it did finally pull back into that moving average, pulled back into that moving average, and we got it right there. So we put in 2 positions on that one, and then up it went. And that was our way of catching some of the semiconductor mania on that. But yeah, we picked it up right in through there, 2 positions, and again, been holding these moving averages, and there's your Moxie price trigger looking great. In fact, this whole area, price underneath the 50, but the Moxie indicator above 0, that's a trampoline move. And you can see here, that was the first signal for that. So we just had signal after signal, and boom, up it went. So yeah, just enjoying the ride on this one, and we'll see if there are any other places to kind of add, but otherwise, what's not to like about this kind of stuff? So yeah, we're doing pretty well, enjoying all that. Maybe I'll mention one other thing because there was a little bit of activity in the crypto space today, and look what happened. We had a bit of a pop-up today. Now, this is super early, but I do think that the Bitcoin sector is still going to go. I just don't see this thing going away. There was a crap ton of volume that came into this over the last few weeks, months, and I know all the ETFs was definitely a buy the rumor, sell the news type thing. But if you do notice, there's a double bottom. We are back over the hourly 50. It still has work to do, but the interesting thing that this might turn into is another trampoline move on the daily chart. So price below the 50, but the Moxie indicator above 0. That could end up being a really good bullish signal. And if we, look at this, and again, I'm just kind of looking at Mara. Mara is probably one of the leaders, but they are all going to, travel in packs and bring their friends. And look at this. I mean, can you not deny that this thing is in an uptrend? Yeah, it just had a really big move and it just needed to consolidate it, but coming right back down and coming back down to support. So you just got to be a little bit patient. It's looking good, it's looking interesting, but I'm not quite ready to buy into it yet. But I like generally what's happening here, and seriously, it is hard to deny that increasing volume. Yeah. So if you like it, take a look at it. All right, guys. Well, thanks again. Enjoy your weekend. Remember to come over to the poll that we got going on here. I'm curious to see what you guys think. And other than that, you guys, we'll catch you next week. Thanks again.